faith and freedom, rewritten by war, by politics, beginning tonight.
Tonight, a special presentation from American Experience and Frontline.
Beginning tonight, a special series exploring how religious faith and the quest for religious liberty has shaped public life in America for over 400 years.
You can't divorce faith from the American experience. It really is our historical and cultural DNA.
This is the dramatic history of the struggle for faith and freedom, rewritten by war, by politics, and by spiritual imagination.
We've had this notion from the very beginning of American life that this is a special place, and what makes it special is that we have some kind of special relationship with God.
It is the story of how Europeans' attempts to convert Native Americans was met with violent rebellion. How the Puritans fled religious tyranny in the Old World to build a more perfect society in the New.
We must consider that we shall be as a city upon a hill.
And how new waves of immigrants demanded their religious freedom.
The Hughes genuinely felt that the public schools were engines of converting Catholics into Protestants.
It is the story of faith, the Civil War, and a president's private spiritual journey.
Lincoln decided that the war had been decreed by God.
And the religious foundation of civil rights.
I just want to do God's will, and He has allowed me to go up to the mountain.
It is a story of spiritual awakenings and political awakenings.
I know that you can't endorse me, but I endorse you.
Of the freedom to believe and the struggle to be free from belief. Of the quest for truth, faith, and power in the most religiously diverse nation on earth.
We are a nation of Christians and Muslims, Jews and Hindus, and non-believers.
It is a complex history full of surprises and insights, a fresh and challenging journey through the American story. Tonight, part 1 of God in America. When the first Europeans came to the New World, they brought with them Christian traditions and beliefs that had endured for more than 1,000 years. But in this new land, religion would have to change.
It's this new place, the new world, the new Jerusalem, the new Israel, whatever you might call it, but new is the operative word. And that's being made here. And what's being made is precisely up for grabs.
This is the story of America's struggle from old religion to new.
There was this idea that we are the new Adam and the new Eve. We are these new people, and we're being made by this new environment. And that's what we're sort of straining toward early on. Some new kind of narrative, some new kind of story that we as Americans can tell, that is going to be a story of us in relationship to God.
A story that would change American religion forever and help give birth to America's identity. A century after Christopher Columbus came to the New World, the first Spaniards reached a land that they would call New Mexico. Their conquistadors came in search of silver. Their missionaries came to save heathen souls.
It was important. This was life and death, not simply life and death here on earth. This was eternal life. And
it was a sign that European religion would not survive unchanged in the New World.
When a nation comes together to help a city recover, and Goldman Sachs joins the effort to help, a community gets the investment it needs. Residents come home. Small businesses thrive. Jobs are created. Traditions flourish. And the city of New Orleans continues to make progress.
How much money do you have in your pocket right now?
I have $40.
21? Could something that small make an impact on something as big as your retirement?
I don't think so.
Well, if you start putting that money towards your retirement every week and let it grow over time for 20, 30 years, that retirement challenge might not seem so big after all.
For we must consider that we shall be as a city upon a hill. The eyes of all people are upon us.
On the harsh and rocky shores of Massachusetts, a small group of men and women had already begun the struggle to create a new Christian community. The Puritans who came to America in 1630 were fired by a zeal to save Christianity from the corruption of a European church.
They're carrying with them this story. We're leaving because we're going to remake Christianity. We're leaving because we're going to remake the world. And so it gives them a sense of specialness. We're the chosen people. And then they come over here and they act that way. They start to act like they're the Israelites. You know, they've gone across the ocean. You know, they've escaped the Pharaoh.
They had been persecuted for accusing their king of failing to cleanse the Church of England of Catholic rituals. They had been hounded as radicals for their fervor for the Protestant Reformation.
The whole point of the Reformation was to make Christianity right, to bring it back to the beginning, bring it back to its pure origins, bring it back to the Bible. And the Church of England wasn't doing enough of that. And so that's where they got their name from, the Puritans. They were going to purify the church.
The burden of creating this godly enterprise fell on the shoulders of John Winthrop, a provincial lawyer in England, but now governor of the new colony.
The Lord will be our God, and delight to dwell among us. The Lord will be our God, and delight to dwell among us as his one people.
When he committed himself to the colony in 1629, I mean, he committed himself all the way. I mean, he had a profound determination to see the colony succeed.
The New Englanders were aware that there had been other efforts, like at Jamestown, that was just a miserable failure. And they didn't want theirs to be a miserable failure, and they knew that the odds were against them. You know, they knew that the climate was difficult.